What are we doing today?
We're in Chaozhou, in the city of Shantou, from which the Gong Fu flows, so act like you know. To get tea, to get the Gong Fu cha, to get the original style Gong Fu cha and the Fenghuang Dantong Oolong cha in the tea market. We're going to the Shantou Cha Ye Pi Fa Shichang, which is the Shantou City tea leaf wholesale market, which was recommended to us by our dear friend Stephen, who we met last night, and we're getting picked up by our cabbie, who we also met last night. Everyone here seems to have some kind of tea connects, so we're going to go explore, find the best tea we can in the market, and then on Tuesday, tomorrow, we're going to go up on the mountain to find where that best tea comes from. We're going to get it.
But in Chaozhou Gong Fu Cha, you put about 3 times the amount of tea that you normally use to make just a regular cup of tea. And rather than making a cup of tea that produces a light, sort of airy flavor to kind of capture that fleeting essence that you find in tea and the flavor it produces, in Chaozhou Gong Fu Cha, you want to capture every flavor in every cup of tea. And yeah, that might mean that you only get about 3 or 4 steepings out of that tea, but a good tea will still produce, you know, that classic 7 cups.
满大街流淌着欲望，满大街流淌着欲望，良心被狗吃光，良心被狗吃光。
Most of the tea they drink in Chaozhou isn't actually from Chaozhou. It's Fujianese oolongs like Da Hong Pao and Tie Guan Yan. And that's why they invented the technique of Gong Fu Cha in the first place, is to bring out the complex flavors and fragrances of these Fujianese oolongs. But they do actually produce their own tea in Chaozhou. It's called Fenghuang Dantong, Phoenix Single Bush. It's named after the Phoenix Mountains where it's grown, and it's famous, but it's not famous like Longjing or Tie Guan Yan. Only a small amount is produced every year, and it's very expensive, even within China, because each stand of tea plants has its own unique character, and the leaves are harvested, processed, and sold together, hence the name Single Bush. There's dozens of varieties, and they have names like Magnolia Fragrance, Brothers Tea, for some reason, Duck Shit Fragrance, which is actually one of the best ones. They all have their own particular taste and aroma, but they're all descended ultimately from a single stand of trees planted during the Song dynasty. Some of these trees from this original Song grove still exist, and they're hundreds of years old.
We met Lin quite by accident. After a long day of drinking tea, we were tired and hungry, but I said to Scott and Sohan, "Let's try this last tea shop." It wasn't long, after being there, that we realized Lin had something unique. All of his teas were the best Phoenix teas we had tasted, after 4 days of drinking unearthly numbers of Phoenix oolongs in Chaozhou and the surrounding areas. After drinking tea with him for 6 hours, he agreed to take us up to Wudong Mountain, the highest peak in the Phoenix Range, to see the Songjong tree there, a descendant from the original Song dynasty tea plants that gave rise to all the Phoenix teas. In China, this is called Yuan Fen, which means fate or destiny. In Chinese culture, it is as essential as time or the weather.
茶树这么来的潮州，原来是从哪里来的？
这里有个传说啊，传说以前啊，有一只鸟啊，叼一棵树过来，有一个宋朝的皇帝跑到这里来避难了，有一只鸟啊，看到他口渴了，叼了一棵树过来，过来呢，给他止渴嘛，是传说来的。他吃了那个茶叶的叶以后啊，觉得很止渴，剩下那个汁就是插在独洞山上、凤凰山上，山上以后那个树就长起来，长起来就慢慢跟种出来，它是这样传说过来。
这是宋朝，
他
那个
逃难到这里，
逃
难到这里嘛，又肚子又饿，口又渴嘛，有一只鸟
就可能说就是凤凰，
对呀，
应该是凤凰。
那个鸟叼的那茶树嘛，茶叶嘛，过来给那个逃难的皇帝啊吃那叶子，然后止渴嘛。
Tea culture really owes a great deal to Chaozhou because it was in Chaozhou that Gongfu Cha was invented. Gongfu Cha is the Chinese art of serving tea. It's essentially what is the best way to make tea taste good. And over hundreds of years, it's evolved into this elegant dance of precision and discipline where you express yourself through the execution of a finely honed skill while still being laid back and chilled out and really just enjoying tea with your friends. and it's an essential part of Chaozhou culture. Everyone in Chaozhou does gongfu cha. And when you enter any tiny little shop, whether they sell tea or potted plants or pipe fittings or whatever, first thing they'll do is serve you a tiny little cup of strong, skillfully brewed tea that they just sit around all day long making and drinking. Chaozhou isn't the botanical home of tea, that's Yunnan. It's not the home of tea culture, because you could say that's Hubei. It's not even the home of oolong, which is what they drink, because that originated in Fujian. But it is the home of the technique, the activity, the art of making tea, and that's their great contribution to tea and to Chinese culture as well.
第一是那个凤凰单丛有那么特别，中国里面是非常特别有特色的。
第一个，耐泡。
第一个耐泡。
对，耐泡，不是泡我们泡茶的泡。
对
啊，耐泡。第二个，香味高。
香味高啊，
高香型的。
对。
香通天的，通天香，对。很厉害。
好。
第三个，回甘味。
回甘味哈。
到下面来了，回甘，有没有感觉？整个回甘都非常好。好，这三个，比中国任何茶叶，都高，都厉害。这三个，
主要特点。
主要茶的特点，山越高的，越值钱。茶树
越老，
古老的，越老的，越值钱。香味越香的越值钱。我们茶的名字呢是以形状去命名。第二个是以香型去命名。你就懂。这个中国茶分成3种，一种是半发酵的，一种是没有发酵的，一种是有发酵的。我们这个乌龙茶呢，单丛茶是属于乌龙的，属于半发酵的茶叶。懂了吗？
懂了。
基本这些你就应该会了解。
好，了解。
要了解这些，才能来研究这茶叶。OK
了，谢谢。那这个凤凰山，这可以在这个凤凰山种凤凰茶，另外的地方不能种茶。为什么？
别的地方天时懂吧？那个天气，一路缭绕，懂不？
不知道。
云雾缭绕，云雾在上面。
云雾哈。
天时
高意思。
地利是高山的。地利种在高山的，才有这个味道。人和人，你有这个功夫，有这个技术，才能做出这个茶叶。这个传统过来是几百年了，传下来的，才有这个味道。我们随便一个人去做不了。
对。
这个技术是几百年传下来的。天时地利人和这3种一定要具备。
好，
才能做出好茶。
非常好。
你把那个宋种歪到你们卖力坑去种啊？没有。 个做的茶的。
He's saying you can find the name of this potter online.
Yeah.
If you do research on it, you
Yeah.
can find the potter's name online.
Shows the.
If you can pick that up. So this is a
看来
teapot
他
that was
对这个
probably
很有研
made
究
in the late Qing dynasty. What I'm looking at right now is I'm just studying the clay. I mean, the shape
这
is
边没
gorgeous.
有
It's so
卖那些
sharp and
比较
beautiful.
便宜的，会买比较好
But we just don't have clay like this
我们对
anymore.
不
It's
好
been
的
maxed out, and people just don't have the time for this. I feel like I haven't seen anything like this.
我们现在买便宜可以
It's
可以改成
definitely, I mean, it's 100% handmade.
这个就不太耐泡。
The tools that were made to use this were all customized
这
to
个这
create
个吉
pots
田
like
香就
this.
耐泡。
And what I'm looking at is the high fire quality of this. It's
这
perfect.
个会吃多次。
And the clay quality is stunning.
太很难泡哈。
The clay was probably allowed to age and settle before they turned it into a pot.
可以泡。
And as it's still practiced today, it's just so hard to get clay like
我们一
that.
般红茶都用这个泡，这
This
种
is
来泡。我是
exquisite.
给你们看嘛。
It shines an unearthly glow. And look how dark it is. I mean, it's purple clay, but
红茶一般都用这个来泡的。
it's just so high quality purple clay. You don't see anything like this anymore.
Beautiful.
Yeah.